today I want to show you something I call it snake charmer guitar. That's not a technical term, that's just something I've invented to describe a certain corner of my playing. If you follow this channel a lot, you will be familiar with most of the things I'm going to show you today, but it's just the approach and the mentality and the way that I link certain things together. And if you haven't followed this channel much, maybe there's something new here for you. I call it snake charmer guitar because we're going for a very sinewy, elegant, exotic, kind of Middle Eastern or Arabic or Indian or something like that sounding stuff. And we're playing a particular style of melody. So let me play for you for a second and then talk you through what I'm doing. I'm thinking like Indiana Jones soundtracks, we're thinking film soundtracks, Cleopatra coming down the Nile, all those kind of really evocative images. Let me first show you the scale that I'm using. As I've said, you might know it if you've been one of my online students for a while, and I thank you if you have been, but whether or not you've played this before, I've played it 1,000 million times and I still play it every day, so there's always more progress to be made even in something we've learned before. Open low E string. Middle finger, 7th fret of the A, then 2nd fret, 8th fret of the A. I did a lesson on this scale recently because I do it in a very unorthodox way, which usually a scale might be 2 notes per string, 3 notes per string, maybe even 4 notes per string. I, on this scale, play it with a kind of random number of notes per string just because it falls under my hands nicely. So that's that 7, 8. Then on the next string, we're gonna go 6, 7, 9, 10. So there's 4 notes on that string. And then 7, 9. That's enough to get you started. So open low E, 7, 8. 6, 7, 9, 10. 7, 9. That's 1 octave of the E Phrygian dominant mode, which I also call the Spanish scale. The interesting thing about what I'm doing, or the unusual and unique thing about what I was doing before, is basically whenever I play a note, the only choices I really allow myself is to play, I can play that note again, I can play the note lower, or I can play the note higher, but I never jump in melody more than 1 note at a time. So if I'm playing that E, well let's go up a bit, if I play the E and then I go to the F. Now from that F, really the only options I'm going to give myself, you can play the open at any time. I'll go back down to the E, or up to the G sharp. When I'm on the G sharp, I can either go up to the A or down to the F. Now that may sound quite limiting, and it's definitely got some limits to it, but that creates a certain sound. And you could do like loops, so between the same notes multiple times. One thing I picked up from a lot of film soundtracks and classical music as well, when you're using this kind of scale, what can be really wonderful, I do this a lot in my playing in Calidad as well. You're noodling or you're playing something, you can build up some tension so that when you finally go up, it's exciting. Each time you hit a new higher note, it's kind of cool. Definitely in this style, lots of hammer-ons. Lots of bends, lots of vibrato. Beautiful half-tone bands. I got a bit distracted there because I always really enjoy playing this stuff. Do some slide. And all these licks I'm playing are actually just either playing the same note again, playing the note one scale degree higher, or one scale degree lower. And it goes from being quite a limiting and quite a constrictive form of playing to actually being very free and expressive, because you start to play these crazy long kind of elongated melodies that you may not play otherwise. So anyway, it's just an idea, it's just something I wanted to share with you. It's something I do a lot in my own playing, and I wish you well with it. I hope that someone out there watching has had a little bit of a breakthrough and can play guitar slightly better than you could before. Thank you for watching.